I figured it's about time to do a video on this Aspire. Whether or not I have enough battery is behind me, but it is what it is. My parents bought this car brand new in '96. As you can tell, it's a little worse for wear, but for sitting for 10 freaking forevers, it is what it is. You hear me tripping over shit. And there was a huge ass fucking spider around here too, but I'm digressing again. Anywho, to which it matters, they bought this new in '96 to replace a Subaru Justy that they had bought. Well, the reason they had to replace the Justy was because the mere fact that we had been in an accident in it. And that the car was no longer really safe to drive. It hadn't been set right from the factory, from the dealer, from the get-go. That's the reason we had the accident. The brakes weren't working right. And there's tons of freaking mosquitoes, as you can tell. They're dive bombing me. But ooh. See, I crushed his ass. Anyhow, there he goes. In '96, they bought the car, drove it forever. My mom, her health declined, and it got to where she wouldn't drive as much. And my father had sold one truck, didn't like the other one, so he stopped driving it, went out, bought another hunk of junk, and ended up driving this one. And I may have mentioned in the other videos, he took this car swimming. At the end of the road, like I've said many a times before, there's two drains that flood, and this happened to catch it at that right time, and it hydrolocked the motor. Well, car went around and around, and at the time we had the Blazer, and y'all might know that from one of the videos. And the only reason I'm walking up to the shed is because I believe we have one of the connecting rods in here from that car. I believe, I ain't certain, but I believe. And we're finding all sorts of crap in here, other than what the hell I'm looking for. That happens when you're unorganized for a while. I do remember seeing that bastard around here too. But Dad took it for a swim, went to 2 Ford dealers, and ended up getting fixed at the repair shop at the end of the street. Now, why in the hell it took that long for 2 dealers to figure out that they didn't want to work on the car is beyond me, but that's just how dealerships are. So, it got rebuilt. Father drove it for a while. And, well, Mom drove it a couple times, and then it got to where she couldn't drive at all. It's just how her health was. And, wow, a whole heap of crap disappeared. I digressing again. Crap falling on the top of the carport. But, shit. Anywho, I can't find it. I bet you I'll stop filming, I'll find the fucker. Anywho, if I find it, I'll probably take a still and add it in with the video. It got to the point where I was in between vehicles, and I needed a car, or truck, or van, or whatever the heck. And my dad had this one sitting up there at the shop, and at the time, Twinkle Boots had given me a camper, a little Shasta, a little 16-foot camper. And, well, my dad wanted a camper, so I'd go camping. And I needed the car, so we swapped for it, pretty much. At the time, my mom had passed, so she didn't need the car no more. And all it was doing was sitting up there at squeezy pumps, doing absolutely nothing, except ruining and waiting for a paint job, which it still is waiting for one. But at this point, there's issues with the engine. I think it's probably a front oil seal finally let go, as you can tell right there. Well, I had to pull the motor out, and I ain't gonna do that shit here in this backyard when I got Wamsley I can work on it at. But I could still run and drive the car. It'd be fine to get it to where I need to get it. This car has a 1.3 liter, and this does not have macro or anything of the sort. Yeah, it does not have macro. It will not focus. But it is a 1.3 liter motor. You can look it up on Google. It is a 4-cylinder, and I believe they were estimated around 30 miles to a gallon. This car does get that reliably, and it's a nice little car. That's my oopsie. I gotta go junkyard, get another grill and another radiator and AC condenser. That ought to be easy because there's no fucking Freon in it. And yeah, more of the inside. Interior's pretty decent for sitting. Huh. There's a carburetor. And there's a hole in the tank. Twink was looking for that. I'll put it on the Twinkmobile. But anywho, it is not a bad little car, all things considered. I need to get in here, clean it out, vacuum it up, make it look nice and clean. Get a upholstery attachment, clean it up. That's how much fuel it had in it at the time I started driving it. Mileage 114,360 miles and 5/10. 283 since I last reset it. And This has a 5-speed transmission with the most fucked up design ever. It's got little hooper doopers underneath there, and that's why it goes all the way over here, all the way over there, because half that shit worn out because it was made so cheaply. You also notice here I got a switch. That is for these. I was driving the car at the time. I was having issues with it, and since I was anybody knowing downtown Jacksonville, I'm close to get rid of some of these fucking mosquitoes. But anybody knowing downtown Jacksonville or South Side, it's a clusterfuck. And not having these is dangerous. Everything else worked in the car except that, because the gauges. So what I would do is like on a school bus, a master switch, secondary. Push that over. I think it would pop that back, and your lights were on. No, it would pop it forward. Your lights were on. So they had blinkers. Go, and then you just like that. You can pop it like a high-low switch. And that's how I drove her for a while. I gotta pull that back. Damn it, man. Why the hell do I would do that? Gotta pull this console out, pull that out, and figure out why the hell this is doing what it's doing, so I can get rid of it. And I probably keep this here, since I already notched that out, and fix little eyelet thingies that do this, and then probably put some lights out, some driving lamps on the front of this. Just use this for it. Some for the rear, some for the front. The only reason I haven't lifted the gate is because the keys are in the house. I don't feel like getting them. See? My chippy camera. And there's the inside of the car. No tilt anything. It's bare bones. Has air conditioning that don't work. It's got that. A lot better than what it was. I had my radio in here. I'll get this going again. Clean it up, fix it, probably drive it. And since everyone in this household is a